25th of October 2023. We in Sydney here were expecting very high temperatures today, in the high 30s centigrade, but there is a definite change in the weather. It feels like rain coming. The plants need a nice shower. And there's a very nice cool breeze. Our jacaranda is particularly beautiful this year. Jacarandas, I would think, are more colourful and have more flowers, when the previous year is warm, not over hot, not over cold. And this tree is so beautiful. But yeah, the weather. Hello crafting friends, welcome to my podcast. My name is Barbara Radzevicius and I'm Bondi Crafter. It's the 25th of October. I'm doing Vlogtober. And yeah, I'm here. I'm at home today. I'm not going out. Yesterday was very hot and we were expecting temperatures to be like nearly 40 degrees C today. But there is a lovely breeze and I'm not sure whether we will get to that yet. We still could, because it's very humid, especially out in the western suburbs, because there is the mountain range and the heat seems to accumulate at the bottom of the mountains, make it very warm there. So today I am staying home. I'm going to repot some of my native orchids. They came in little tiny containers like this, and they have flowered and it's ready to put them into a nice ceramic pot, I'm thinking. So I'm planning to do that today. There's 4 of them that I need to do. I feel that they're outgrowing those little containers. Yeah, that's something interesting. I'm going to mix my own potting mix. I have 4 different types of stuff that I put into the recipe, mainly bark, medium and fine bark pieces, some of those lacquer balls which soak up water and keep the little things going well, and also keep the bark off the bottom of the pot. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and give them some fertilizer and hope that they like living in their new pot. I bought these beautiful pots from the reject shop. They're a couple of dollars each. They're ceramic and they've got bees on the side. So I will definitely do a repotting segment in this episode if you're interested in repotting orchids or indoor gardening. It's very interesting. And yeah, I sort of got into that this year when John and I went to an orchid shop down south from here, and the orchids were just so beautiful in winter. And so yeah, we bought a couple of, as you saw, the little tiny ones in little pots, and they came in the post, and that was exciting. But I think it's time for them to progress to a bigger pot, and hopefully the water in summer will, stay more in the pot and not just go out because it gets very warm. But yeah, that's my repotting my repotting plans for today. I have done some knitting cast on. So you remember I bought some black neon from at Bondi, and it's just so beautiful. I tried casting on a few different things that I didn't like, because the neon yarn, as you can see, has specks in random spots, and some patterns don't lend themselves to, I found anyway, to speckles, you know, just to make the best of the yarn. And I'm sort of happy with this one. I'm going to make a shawl, just a long rectangle, just making it myself, the pattern, no pattern. So I just cast on 88 stitches, and I'm going to put a little cable in there. See the cable? Hang on. There is 2 cables in here. I've marked the spot where they're going to be. They're very easy cables. Just an 8-stitch cable. That's two pearls, 6 for the crossover and 2 for the pearls. And I've got 2 of those. And I think they show up beautifully with this yarn, and I'm making the cables go into right to the edge. So it's very exciting, you know, when you just think up something and just start knitting, and I just love it. So yeah, that's what and it feels so beautiful. Just slow motion knitting, so meditative and, you know, just beautiful. And it's exciting to see how the speckles arrange themselves on the yarn. It's just lovely. So I'm hoping to get, I'm thinking maybe 2 meters for a long rectangle scarf this wide. It's not wide, it's about 12 inches, 30 centimeters. Yeah, see how we go anyway. You don't need patterns really for most things. I need patterns for jumpers and things, but I'm not really knitting jumpers anymore. I knitted a couple cardigans last year. They take a lot of yarn, and also they sort of weigh heavy on my fingers when I'm knitting. Arthritis. Can't be helped, but we make the best of it. So I've decided I'm a shawl and sock person. I also knit a few hats. But yeah, shawls are so exciting, especially when you see something you hadn't expected appear. I have bought a few patterns in the past. I don't knit every pattern, and a pattern's just a guideline for me, really. I did really like the Luca shawl. That was a long rectangle. I had to follow a graph, but it turned out beautifully. I knitted it with knitting for Olive in silk, and I gave it to my sister for her birthday. She loved it. And silk is beautiful at any season, I think. Colour was lovely. It was ice blue. I think it was ice blue. It was blue and it was ice in the name. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Should all be fun. I've started on a new sort of eating program. This may not be interesting to everyone, but I have my gallbladder removed. I think it's called a cholecystectomy, about 10 years ago. And just recently, my insides have started to play up, mainly with stress, but you know. And it also, I've been reading about people who've had this procedure done, and I'm thinking I eat too much sugar, especially when stressed. Chocolate, I don't eat a lot of chocolate, but when I'm stressed, I could eat a bit of chocolate. And 2 days ago, I felt really bad, really, really bad. And I Googled what could be happening, and sugar seems to be a problem. So the next day, I decided I'm going to cut out as much sugar as I can. I still like some fruits. I like bananas on my breakfast. I like mangoes. I like apples. So mainly a northern hemisphere type fruit person. I do like some berries, but the little seeds are not good, which is a bummer. But yeah, so I'm going to cut out as much sugar as I can. I'm feeling much better. I'm not having 2 sugars in my coffee anymore. I'm down to 1. I'm hoping to go out of sugar altogether. I don't drink much coffee. I do drink tea. My mum used to drink tea just plain, just hot water and tea. No sugar, no milk. And I'm thinking I hope to get to that point. I've decided to drink more water, just plain water. I haven't been a fan of plain water. I like water with, you know, some lemon slices in it, or cucumber slices, or flavouring of some sort. But I've decided just to drink plain water now, and I'm hoping this will help. Has anyone else had problems with gallstones or gallbladder removal things? I'm sorry to talk about my insides, but yeah, like I'm 71 now and my insides are not what they used to be. Sorry, friends. I should be repotting my plants. I think I will get onto that now. So thanks for joining me today. And I'll see you in a bit. I should be doing other things like cutting out a jacket, but no, I'm going to repot the orchids. Okay. After the potting segment, I'll show footage of Judith doing some Bargello. Are you interested in Bargello? It is so beautiful. And Judith's going to talk about how she thinks about patterns and colours. So that should be fun. So that'll be after the potting, after I've put the pots into soak. I've set up my table now to repot. I've put down the plastic sheeting. I've got my leca beads, sphagnum, coarser pine bark, the medium and fine. I've got some Osmocote for slow loose fertilizer. I've got the little plants that need repotting, and I've got the pots that I'm going to use. I recently bought these pots on Temu, I think. They were on sale. They're very good for growing orchids. They've got air holes. I bought 2 lots of those, a smaller size and just a bigger size. And then at the reject shop, these are the little ceramic pots that I got. They're so cute. I think they were $2.50 each, maybe less. They were such a good bargain at the time anyway, and I got the last 5 they had. So that's what I'm going to do. This is all my equipment. Got my gloves ready to put on. John bought me gardening gloves, and yeah, that's it. I've set up the camera a bit further back so that we can see the pots. Putting on my gloves. I'm going to do them all at one time. I'm going to start with leca beads, so a handful in each pot, just enough to cover the hole in the bottom of the pot. These are a really good idea because they're made from clay and they're very porous. Some are running away. I have to get my granddaughter to get them when she comes after school. I think that's enough of that. I like to keep all my potting stuff in a bag so that it all stays together. Now I'm going to put some sphagnum, just a little on the bottom of each one. Might be a bit much. This just helps with retaining water. Squishes down. Some medium bark. And then I'm going to put the plants in, hopefully. See how they like. I might use a finer grey, I think. I don't want it to spill. Now I'm just filling the pots halfway so I can put the orchids in. I need to make a spot for them, I imagine. Okay, I'm going to start with the little one. I do hope these little orchids grow for me. This is one that John found recently on the side of the footpath. It's a, I don't know what you call them, but we call them crucifix orchids. They're beautiful little things. And I also need to put some fertilizer in with them, some slow release. Just a few little beads, and wish it well. Next, this is an orchid that we bought. It's a Dendrobium Hamana Lake Dream. And just take a bit of this out of the bottom. Go down a little bit. I just put some fine bark around the edges just to keep it stable. You can see I'm a novice, but I'm trying. I think trying is the main thing. And hoping for the best. Little plant. Next, I planted this one and it's growing quite well, but I think it needs more. So I'm going to put it into that pot. Just use some of the potting mix that I had because it's quite nice potting mix. Oh, I won't use the sphagnum. The little pieces of bark are quite nice, and I don't want to waste. Don't want to be wasteful. So that looks quite nice. And now the big one. I've actually never repotted a big orchid. I'm trying to follow the instructions that I've seen on YouTube. get out any big blobs of blobby stuff. It gets stagnant. So the roots have a nice, I think that's enough. I don't want to torment it. Okay, I think I might take some of this out to put it in. I just want it sitting on the top of the pot, and I want it to be quite stable, very stable. And I want it to stand there. Stand there, little plant. And I'll fill the top up with this nice bark. Just push it down. I'm seeing that this one has a lean on it. I want it to be more upright. This one flowered. I don't know whether this one flowered this year for us because it's a new plant, and so that is my repotting just for the moment. Show you what I've done. So they look quite nice in their new pots. They're all upright, and I'm hoping that they're going to do well. So it is coming on to summer, and I think they needed a bigger pot with so that I can water them more. I like to have a really porous mixture so that, you know, they don't sit in water, but they do need a drink. I hope that one's not in too big a pot. I will put it into another pot, the clear plastic ones, and the little ceramic ones I'm just going to put on the windowsill so that I see them every day. So that is my repotting exercise for today. I'll just put some Osmocote around the other pots, and that will be it. I've potted up a couple more plants that I had. The little spider plant I was growing in water, and I decided to put in some soil, and another big-ish orchid in a pot. Some of them were very much needing new potting mix, so I'm hoping that I've not done any damage to the roots or anything of the plants, and they look quite neat. I'm going to put them in the bathtub now and give them a nice drink before I put them back. And yeah, this is my potting station for today. I'm just going to put all the old potting mix in the bin. I've thrown away the little pots that the orchids came in because they had done their work, and I've recycled them. So repotting. I never thought I would be repotting plants of this size indoors ever again. It's so interesting, I think. One day I hope them to be beautiful flowers like my Phalaenopsis that has flowered for the 3rd time with 2 spikes and beautiful flowers. It probably needs a repot, but I will do that when it's finished flowering. The flowers last for like 3 months each time they flower, and it's such a good value little plant. Such a great buy instead of cut flowers. They last and last. And for $25 Australian, which is like $12 US, you can have a beautiful plant like this that just keeps on keeping on. So lucky. Levine's quite curious as to what I've been doing. Now she's coming over to see where I've been doing it. It's all cleaned up. Nothing for Kitty. All gone, Kitty. All wiped down, all sanitised. Now she's going to have a rest on the middle of it. I've put the plants in the bathtub. We don't use our bathtub anymore. The grandchildren have an occasional bath here because it's a beautiful big bathtub. It's like 6 foot long and 4 foot deep, and the youngest can practically do laps in it. But I've put the orchids in there. I'm going to give them a nice drink and let them drain for a day, give them another drink, and then put them back on the window. I'm hoping that they'll like their new pots and I haven't hurt them. And yeah, I think they look nice. I just hope I've done a good job. After I take the plants out of the bathtub, I will disinfect it and sanitize it and make sure that it is squeaky clean again.
Okay, so this is Bargello. It's a type of a canvas, or some people call it a tapestry, but it's not really tapestry. Strictly speaking, tapestry is weaving, but some people call this sort of working on canvas tapestry stitch. And this particular one is Bargello, which is a very strong sort of a thing. So people often use it for chair covers or whatnot. Traditionally, it was developed as an efficient way of working that made strong, lasting furniture.
It is beautiful.
Or wall hangings, bed hangings, whatever. So you go up 4 and then down 2 in the next line. That's the basic stitch. And if you just keep doing that, you get an angled line. But if you sort of do some stops every so often, so I'm now going to do 3 that stay on the same line, then you get a wave or a circular sort of a
so beautiful
design. And it's very easy, I find, to just generate anything. The basic one was the green was where I started, and I just went 1 1 2 2 3 4 6, and then came back 4 3 2 2 1 1, and then that becomes the first one of the next one. And I just continued. It would have been just as easy to make the waves go like that and use a different color going there, and then I get more of a chain effect. So and you see that you get quite good coverage on the back as well, which is why it's a good stitch for making things that you might want to use. I mean, once upon a time, embroidery was sort of everywhere in a rich person's house. These days, not so much, perhaps. There's so many other types of artwork, and they don't, so much stuff is kind of made that there's not that necessity. And women are no longer kind of, the producers of the embroidered hangings and the thing. Now it's more the province of artists, who could be male or female. Only really in Europe was sort of embroidery a female thing. In some other countries, like in Egypt, the applique and whatnot was done by the men, and women weren't allowed to do it. So it's very much a cultural thing when we think of embroidery as a female pursuit. So traditionally, people go for an ombre effect. The wool comes in lots of shades that I'll pull out 3 purples to show you, and I could probably have like 5 or 6 of these purples, going from darker than this through a few mid shades to a very pale. And so traditionally people have gone for an ombre effect. But my last few embroideries have been really complex, and I just wanted to do something simple and sort of mix up the colors a bit. So that's what I'm doing.
It's beautiful.
And I've chosen 3 colors and used 2 or 3 shades of each hue. So there's 3 greens, there's 3 purples, and there's 3 kind of pinks, but one of them's a bit more orange because I didn't find in my stash a lighter pink in this shade that I thought worked. It might exist, but it's not in my rather humongous stash.
It is so beautiful.
So yeah, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it at the end because I don't make embroideries to use really. I just like to have my hands busy. If I'm sitting around, I'm either reading or embroidering or maybe knitting. Yeah. People frame them.
Yeah. Okay. It's beautiful. Okay, that's me signing off for this episode, 25th of October. Hope you're all well. Hope everything is going okay for you all. Please leave a comment on anything that I've done today. Me talking about myself. Potting orchids is interesting. Judith is a great friend. Love talking to her. Yeah. That's it for me for today. I'm home by myself, so getting into a bit of potting mixture. Okay. See you later, friends. Bye.